All right, what I've got here today is the Atayal XL. This is made by Work Tough Gear, designed by Vic Lynn, the owner of Work Tough Gear. Let's see if you guys can see this. There's a tabletop review that I've already put up that you guys can go check out some of the dimensions, like blade length, handle dimensions. It's about 19 inches overall. These are going to be in K329 bowler steel. Available October 29th, I believe. And there's going to be 2 drops. And of course, a lot of times you got to check DLT Trading and Knife Center, because those drops are normally following the Work Tough Gear website drop in case you missed those. All right, I'm gonna do a couple tasks with this, and I think I'm gonna start off with the baseball chop. We'll see what this does. So kind of like a high saber there, but like a full flat trailing point. You can see the tip kind of tapers. The balance point is like right at the choil, giving you guys all the important information. The handle is fairly thick. I think it's a little over an inch. If you have really stubby fingers, it might feel kind of big right there. I have large mechanics glove hands, and that's about where my fingers hit on the middle. The blade feels really light. And this is almost like a sword. Like if you wanted a small sword for your car, or like an inside CQB sword for your house, or you're a felon and you can't have a gun. Oh, a little bit off topic, but a spear in your house with a tactical light taped to it. If you can't own a gun, that's not a bad thing. Gives you some standoff, gives you some light. A nice spear. Could be a little bit difficult to get around in spots, but something like a two-handed wakizashi or something like this could be decent for home defense, as long as the guy doesn't have a gun. And then you're probably gonna get killed. But if it's dark and you use some good tactics and know your own house, this is better than being unarmed, I would say. All right, so where do I see this knife? Let's see, it's a weird angle here. It's kind of downhill. Where do I see this knife fitting in? You know, I could see this being a machete. And there's also, I didn't mention this in the tabletop review, but this is shaped a lot like a, kind of like one of those knives you see in offshore fishing. Like it usually has a white handle, kind of like a trailing point. Kind of has that look, like a large butcher blade, but definitely self-defense, definitely machete tasks, chopping, food processing, a barbecue knife, any of that. It comes extremely sharp, and I have some shorts up already for this. Let's see, it's got a tiger on the blade. You can see it says the Atayal XL. Second production, bowler K329, October 29th. All right, let's start doing some use. I think I'm gonna try to chop a baseball in half, and hopefully I only have like one ball this time, so hopefully I can get like a good hit and not miss off to the side. All right, let's do it. All right, baseball chop. All right, so we didn't go all the way through. Very close. So I can pull it out, do another, see if I can hit next to it. Let's do one more go. All right. didn't get the dead center. I think I missed the cork, but there's a cork in there. So there's the cork, if you can see that. They're pretty good. All right, let's make sure we're rolling here. All right, let's try some feather sticking. All right, so it will do the feather stick stuff. All right, while we're sitting here, may as well let's do a little notch carve maybe. Man, those chicks are loud in the background. Got a little notch. Let's see, where's the end without a bunch of knots in it? All right, let's do a little, see, hopefully y'all can see this. Now you can feel this little bump right here on the choil. You can feel a bump. So you can still cut with the handle. But in the choil, you can't feel the bump, although you are able to kind of get super close for notches. All right, so I had this beech tree branch fall in my yard. It's been dead, I think. So this should be a fairly hard tree. Let's cut this and see how it does with dry wood. All right, pretty clean cuts. Let's drag this over. Let's see, back up a little bit. Where is the camera? There you go. All right, hopefully y'all can see that. Let's do another piece. I'll hold it up like Scott does. Oh, I thought that was gonna be it. I think he's holding on there by a prayer. Oh, and it falls off. All right. Let's do one more. All right. Some hardwood chopping. Let's go cut some green stuff. All right, I'm gonna cut some of this. These are poplars. Saplings that have grown up since this property was select cut. And there are like millions of these. There's too many. So don't freak out because I'm cutting a tree. Because some of the other ones that don't get cut will grow up to be larger trees someday because of the thinning. Right now there's just too many. All right, let's see if I can go through both of these. Almost got that third one. Let's see if I can get both of these and then go through that one. This one is actually partially halfway through. Nah, that angle. All right. I guess let's put a couple of these. I'll leave this one. All right, let's get a bigger green tree. And we'll try that some. So I was trying to make a place to see through there. So I'll bring out some lopping shears and cut the rest of those down to the ground. That way my kids don't fall and get hurt. All right, so you can see down there, that's a stump from a poplar tree that was taken down during the select cut that happened on the property. That's what we call bastard trees. These trees are everywhere. They're from the seeds of the poplars and they grow the fastest. So they grow up before the oaks and everything else can grow up. So these are too thick. Those would be a good candidate to show some of these slicing capabilities of the Atayal XL. Let's get over there and chop some of these up. can see, this is about, my finger can barely touch, my middle finger can barely, can't talk. My middle finger can barely touch my thumb. Get down there, it can't. So you can see about how big the tree is. Let's move this in case that's in the way. I'll start up so I can get multiple cuts out of this tree. Ooh, that almost went all the way through. I think that did go through. It was just being held up by the other trees. All right, I think I can get all the way through on this one. All right, 2 chops. See if I can I missed that. I might be able to get through this all the way. Let's try. Oh, that's so close. It's like an inch hanging on. I'm pretty sure I'll count that. That pretty much went all the way through to the bark. All right, so one thing I didn't really show that you could probably do with this is you could probably use this to take bark off of the tree. It does have a 90-degree spine, so that is also a sharp spine. So K329 will spark a fire steel. I don't think I need to show that. Let's see if we can one-shot down here. Little left-handed chopping, like I throw a baseball. Cutting straight on doesn't seem to be as effective as cutting at an angle. also very flexible. Let's see, let's try this. That worked. All right, so as expected, this does a great job as a machete. Goes right through this Greenwood. Doesn't feel very blade heavy, so it's not fatiguing. You can chop down, choke down on the pommel, get an extra swing. The blade forward kind of helps with that. All right, let's do some batoning and find something harder to chop. And I might do a little bit of like my little combat on the tree. All right, let's go. Okay, so this is oak. The inside is hard, the outside's kind of rotten. And like the heart of it is hard, you know, not rotten, like I said, but the outside is kind of mushy. So this is unsupported. Let's chop through this and give the blade some work. Might go left-handed some. My shoulder's been hurting me on my right arm. Hopefully y'all can see that. I suck with my left hand. All right, see, the inside is hard, the outside's a little soft, but the inside is hardwood there. All right, I'm gonna call this like the combat portion. I'm not a professional knife fighter, but I'm just gonna move the knife around so you can kind of get an idea of how it is. I have found out in the past that this part of the tree here is extra, you can even hear it, soft, sap filled. See the sap coming off? And that is sticky and tacky and hard as a rock. And I have broken a tip off on that tree. It sucks. So I'm gonna try to be careful not to do any like collateral. I don't want to break this knife. I've been wanting this. So let's do some ninja stuff. All right, let's do stabbing. The trailing point, you may be wondering, will it stab? I think it has an upward angle where it will do a good job of that. Yeah, coming down, you could definitely get some good stabbing in. Even probably this way. But I wouldn't want the blade to come back on me. All right. This tree's probably gonna come down soon. It's got some forestry marks in it, so hopefully nothing falls off and kills me. All right, I'm a knife fighter. I'm not going to do this forever. Man, that just blinded me. But if you're wondering, holding this, it does, I'm about 5'10". It looks like it does come past my elbow. All right, I got my baton. It's a little bit wet. I should have started soaking it last night. This is a big piece of wood. This is dried oak. I can't fit both hands around it. I'm going to baton this in half for you guys. See if I can get a good angle for that. All right, looks like we've already got. All right, like I was saying, it's a very long knife. You don't have to hit out here on the tip. You can hit a little closer in. The upswept should do a good job of keeping that the baton from kind of sliding off. All right, this wood is not in the best shape, but it is still, I am still going to burn this. Ooh, I lost that one. I just lost that. Turned on me. Watch them fingers. I've seen I think it was Frogman Tactical or something. He just got a very bad cut recently. So guys, be careful when you're doing knife stuff. It only takes a second of one little bad decision to really like get you hemmed up for a couple months for a cut to heal. You do cut a tendon, it's going to last for a while. So you got to be careful with these knives. I'm sure anybody who's messed with one has been cut at some point. All right. That part's a little soft on the outside, just like the other piece of wood. The red part is solid. The outside stuff is soft. You don't let stuff sit on the ground too long and stay uncovered. All right, this is a harder piece. It's solid inside. I don't want people saying that I didn't give a fair test or give a good test. Just find those lines. I want to beat the scales up. in there or something. I can't get this knife down. It is not very safe. I don't recommend doing that. There's got to be a knot in there. I can hear it cracking. Man, must have got across the grains. Thing was yeah, good. Whew. This is white oak. This stuff is hard as a rock. Whew. One more. All right, that split a little better. All right, let's do some final thoughts. All right, I'd like to finish these reviews with some paper cutting like I started. That way you can get a good idea the sharpness. Sometimes I do dumb stuff like throw the knife, it'll bounce off and hit a rock, and that puts a nasty burr on there and kind of messes up that part of the test. I didn't throw this. For it to throw, you almost have to throw it reverse to have it stick. And I just don't really want to do that. I mean, I could make it stick. I could do a video and throw it a couple times and make it stick, but I just don't see that as, you know, it's not going to be beneficial, I think, for anybody. And it kind of messes up this test. So I'm going to try to keep the paper together because it's windy. I don't want to go pick up paper all over my yard. All right. You can see, whoop, we are still cutting, and that's after the test. I haven't touched anything up. That's pretty good, I think. Will it shave? It's shaving some. Whoop. All right, so we are still shaving sharp. All right, final thoughts. All right, I actually asked for this knife. Sometimes I get sent stuff that I don't necessarily ask for, but I have been wanting this knife. So this is something that's been on my wish list from Work Tough Gear. And you know, being like a designer with Work Tough Gear, you know, I'm making my designs are pretty much my unicorns. So you can kind of see where my taste is, but I'm also I like trailing points. I like Japanese, you know, swords and stuff like that. So this definitely kind of fits into that. I looked at the handle shape. I thought I would like that. And it's just a cool knife, and it's pretty much a sword. So I did ask for this. So I don't want to mess it up, you know. I'm not going to modify this or do anything to it. You know, like the Warhammer, I did like that knife, but I just wanted to see it with a clip point. So I did that. I kind of wish I didn't do it, but you know, you never know. You get bored. You want to mess around with stuff. This is the sheath. I added these little loops on here with a 550 cord. You can add a D-ring. This is like the cheapest way probably. There's different ways to add it. Like I said in my review video, I think you could add some loops, hook this to a pack upside down. It's good that it has this little safety piece. You don't have to have that, but if you bump that knife and it comes out, you don't want a 20-inch razor blade hitting you in the back of the leg, or going point down into something. So like I showed before, it doesn't go in and out great from the top, but the way you want to do that, you put the tip in, rotate it forward, kind of bottom it out some, and wait until the molding is matched up with the handle to slide it in. If you try to do that like this, like if it's not lined up, it may be a little weird. So just line it up, not like that, and slide it in. Comes out pretty easy. Safety strap for secondary retention, like this. Because of the way there's no rivets on this side, you could add some type of belt attachment on this side and get that however you want it, so you can pull it out this way or like pull it out from the front. This would also probably be good with like some leather or like some aftermarket kydex. They just would have to block it out to clear the blade and maybe give some places for it to flex, since there's so much curvature. But with the kydex, again, it's always nice from work tough gear. You just want to be careful because you could like bump that out and that could come out. So I would recommend using that strap. I would not recommend taking that strap off. Keep the strap on. All right. Always impressed with the Bowler K329. I'm not sure if Atayal means tiger, or if that's just a logo that the Vic wanted on there. Handle feels good. I like this 45 texture. After I did beat on the handle some, it looks fine. There's some marks on it. You see how my hand fits on there. Plenty of room with gloves. All right, I'll go edit this video and get it up for you guys so you can see before everything drops. Let's see. That's pretty cool. So I think you probably could stab a board with this pretty easy, like an upward swing up through like the rib cage, or right under the rib cage, up to the heart. What do y'all think? I've seen a bunch of knives like this, like I said, on saltwater fishing boats for bait and stuff. Barbecue, brisket knives, whatever you want to call them. But I like it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope I didn't talk too much. Just try to cover everything, any questions that might get asked. Y'all have a good day. And if you didn't catch it, October 29th, I believe, is the drop on the Work Tough Gear website. There should be a second batch coming after that, and probably some DLT or Knife Center drops. Y'all have a good one. I didn't hurt myself during the review. I did bang my knuckle with a stick, but came out unscathed for the most part. Later.